Hi, my name is Teresa Richards and I am a mindset and productivity coach for perfectionists. I'm the host of the Valued Life podcast where I help you conquer your fear of failure, stop procrastinating, and create mindful productivity systems so that you can achieve more in less time without stressing out. I'm so happy you're here. So let's jump right into the episode. So today we're going to be talking about how to go on a social media detox without losing your mind. This is something that I've experienced. I've gone on many social media detoxes and for different reasons, and I've had different experiences. My most recent social media detox, actually, I've had two. So my most recent social media detox was in January, and I literally just deactivated my Instagram and everything for like a whole month, just because I just needed to realign myself with my values, and I felt like being on social media just wasn't really helping with that. And then the previous social media detox I went on was for 6 months in 2023. And it was the longest I've ever been completely off the grid. Like, you couldn't find me anywhere. Like, I was off the grid and it was amazing. It was like the best experience ever. I highly recommend it. The only reason I'm back on social media now is because I want to help people. You know, I was a perfectionist and I had to heal myself, and I've done like my life coaching training and things like that. And I realized that to help other people in my situation, I need to be online and I need social media to do that. So that's the only reason why I'm here, because otherwise I would continue living my life off the grid. Anyway, ran over. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about all things social media. So the effects of social media on mental health, the benefits of going on a social media detox, the process of going on a social media detox, for example, the types of detoxes there are and the duration, and just ways to do this whole process without completely losing your mind. So coming up with alternative strategies to meet the need that social media is currently meeting for you. So what is a social media detox then? It is basically a period of time where you intentionally choose not to go on social media platforms. And that could involve deleting your apps, deactivating your account, or even just limiting your usage, using app limits and things like that. The goal of it is to sort of reduce the negative effects of social media, like stress, comparison, distraction, stuff like that. And it's really good if you want to reconnect with yourself and focus on things outside of being online. The duration of it can be, a few days, a few weeks, or even longer, like I did. As I said, I was off the grid for 6 months. So that's basically what a social media detox is. And as I said, I feel like, I'm not saying I'm a pro at this, but I went from someone who was like completely chronically online. I was on every sort of social media app, and my screen time was so high. It was like 7-8 hours a day, to literally becoming someone off the grid with a screen. Like, my screen time, the lowest I ever got my screen time was 45 minutes. Can you imagine? From going from 7-8 hours a day to 45 minutes. As I said, my screen time now, like, just for full transparency, my screen time now is a lot higher because now I've got a business, but it's nowhere near 7-8 hours, So if I can do it, so can you. So let's talk about social media. Let's be real, guys. Like, if you asked me 6-7 months ago about social media, I would have spilled off a whole rant about the negative effects of social media and how it's terrible when everyone should be off the grid. But like, now I feel like I'm using social media for what it's meant to be used for. And it's great if you want to communicate and connect with other people that you never would have spoken to before, people across the world, and also just your friends and family. It's a great way to build that connection. You can share information, ideas, and create content. It's great for networking as well. And there's so many opportunities that social media brings to you. So I see the positive now. And a lot of people use it for inspiration and motivation. Like, I like to think that my content helps perfectionists feel like they're seen, heard, and understood. So I do see the benefits of social media, but there are negatives. And there are a lot of really bad negatives. For example, it makes people's anxiety and depression worse, especially if you have low self-esteem. Like, it's really easy to get caught in a comparison trap seeing people live the life that you want to live. But instead of like going out and living your life, you scroll on social media, just consuming all of this content. When you're passively consuming content from other people, you can't really control it. Like, you can try and curate your feed, but sometimes it's going to be things that just flow right into your screen. And there's so much negativity in the world, and it's hard to control what you consume. As well as, never mind, like, privacy, data security, misinformation, all these things like fake news, all of that stuff, that's all on social media. Like, there's things we should actually genuinely be concerned about. I know it's really simple, but fear of missing out and just feeling like crap because we're not living the life we want. I remember when I was really low and feeling really anxious and depressed, I would just spend hours in bed scrolling and just consuming everything. Like, there wasn't really a purpose or a reason. It was just like, at that point, just an addiction. Like, I'd put my phone down and be like, okay, I'm done. And then I'd just pick it right back up again. And I just felt like I was wasting my life away. And then I'd feel shame about it, but that I've wasted my time doing social media when I could be doing other things. And it was such a negative cycle. So going on a social media break for me changed my life. So, like, the benefits of going on a social media detox is that you literally get to reconnect with yourself. Like, when you delete your apps or deactivate your account, when you pick up your phone to go automatically on Instagram, it's not there. So all of a sudden you have to find stuff to do. And I was probably the most productive I've ever been in my entire life when I deleted social media. Like, I had literally 7 hours of my time to claim back. And I started learning music theory. I started learning singing. I started drawing. I read a non-fiction book a week. Imagine, I was flying through these books. I learned so much about myself. I started a healing journey. I did yoga every day. I got really serious with my bullet journal, and I started journaling just in general, like a diary kind of journal. I was collaging. I attended networking events. I went on holiday. I solo traveled a few places. I really stepped out of my shell and became the version of me that I am today. And that is all from just having some time to reconnect with who I truly was, reconnect with my values, and realign my whole life based on my values. And that just came from having a social media detox. Well, that was the catalyst anyway. And it's not just me, like, everyone I know who's gone on a social media detox, even people online, talk about how their productivity improved, their self-esteem improved, they had much better, deeper connections with other people. Like, it is actually just a real thing. So I really wanted to highlight, like, if you're on the fence about going on a social media detox, I say just give it a go. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I'm going to take you on a journey through my 8-step process for going on a social media detox. It sounds like a lot, but I promise you it's really small steps. Some of them are like very small, some of them a bit more. The first step is to know your why. So why did you click on this podcast? Why are you fed up of living life on autopilot, scrolling away your day? What do you want to achieve by going on a social media detox? These are questions that you really need to sit down and think about. I recommend that you maybe put in your journal or just get a scrap of piece of paper or put in your notes app, but really, like, know your why. Why do you want to come off social media? Like, what is being on social media doing for you? Like, what negative effects are coming up? Like, what side effects are coming up for you when you're on social media? And it'll be different for everybody. I don't want to put things in your mind and say, oh, this is why. But so once you know your why and your reason for going on a social media detox, step 2 is to track how much time you spend on social media and on other apps that are wasting your time. So go to your screen time settings on your phone, or put a limit or a tracker on your laptop for a week or whatever it is, just to see how much time you're actually spending. And then really just like deep the number. Like, if you're sitting there and it's like 7-8 hours, you're like, oh, is that how you really want to spend your time? But the first way to actually make a change is to be really transparent about the situation and really transparent about the things that are going on in your life. So you need to know how much time, how much time you waste on social media every single day. You need to know this. It needs to be embedded into your mind. Because when I clocked that I was literally spending a working day, maybe not on social media, but like on my phone, like my screen time on my phone was like the equivalent of a full working day. I was spending like 3 hours on like Instagram, TikTok. TikTok was dangerous for me. I'm not even gonna lie. I deleted that. I don't even use TikTok anymore, because I like the algorithm. It knew me too well. I'd be there at 2 a.m. on a work night, kikiing because the algorithm sent me some funny video that only I would like. Only me. Like it knew me so well. So like that app is dangerous. So I don't use TikTok anymore because it's too good. But you need to like actually deep it, because when I looked that I spent 4 hours once on TikTok, just TikTok alone. Never mind Instagram, YouTube counts as well, guys, and stuff like that. So you need to know, like you need to be honest. That's the first step to recovery, is knowing your truth. Deal with it. How long do you spend on social media? The truth may hurt you, but it's okay, you'll be fine. And then step 3 is identify the unmet need that social media is meeting for you. So if you don't know, there are 6 human needs: certainty, uncertainty, love and connection, significance, personal growth, and finally, contribution. So certainty is basically a desire for stability, security, and predictability in life. You want to know what's going on, basically, and you like routine. Uncertainty is basically this need for novelty and excitement, diversity and experiences, like stimulation. Like you like change. You don't want to be bored. You want to try new things. And then significance is this desire to feel important and valued by others, feel unique, feel respect and recognition. Connection is the need for social interaction, belonging, intimacy, emotional bonds, friendships, romantic relationships, that sort of thing. And then you've got personal growth, which is the desire for personal development, learning, self-improvement. You want challenges, you want to master skills and things like that. And then finally, contribution, which is the need to give back, contribute, and like make a positive impact in the lives of others. You want to make a difference and leave a legacy. So there are healthy and unhealthy ways to meet your needs. And everyone has these 6 human needs. Some people might have a bigger cup for certainty and a smaller cup for uncertainty. But we all have these 6 human needs, and it's all about balance and working with what we prioritize. For example, for me, personal growth is so important. Personal growth and love and connection are my 2 top needs. So I always make sure I try and fill those cups, especially personal growth. If I'm not growing, I start to like get irritable. Like I need to know that I'm making a difference and I'm learning something new. And basically, when you know what your needs are, it's so much easier to make sure that your life is in balance. And there are so many like healthy and unhealthy ways to meet these needs. But for the context of this podcast, I'm going to be talking about the unhealthy ways that you may be using social media to meet your needs. For example, if you use social media to meet your need for certainty, this could be constantly checking your social media for updates and validation to alleviate feelings of uncertainty and insecurity. Like you have a routine, you know in the morning when you wake up, you're picking up your phone. There's some certainty there. Like if you were to wake up in the morning and not pick up your phone, you'd feel a little bit out of sorts. So you've got that desire for certainty, and social media and just constantly being online, knowing what's going on is one way to meet that need. To meet the need of uncertainty, you might just like go into, is it Shade Room? Like I don't follow any of these places, but I think it's like Shade Room and like World Star. You might like just going on social media for the drama, and it just sort of gives you some excitement and stuff like that. Significance, like maybe you just go on social media to like post pictures and get attention and validation through likes, comments, and followers. Like you might base a lot of your self-worth on your social media metrics. Connection, so an unhealthy way to meet this need for love and connection is to substitute it for like genuine, real face-to-face interactions. You might go on social media and say, oh, but I feel really connected with my friends, but you just send memes and you just like comments and send reactions to their stories, never really having a true, deep connection, which might make you feel kind of lonely and isolated in the long run. You know, like if that's not what you want, if you want more fulfilling relationships, you're using social media as a shallow substitute. And then there's personal growth. A lot of people passively consume content without really engaging with it. And like they might look for, you know, those motivational videos and just keep scrolling and scrolling hours on end, motivational video after motivational video, without actually doing anything, you know, without actually like logging off and then going to do the things that they wanted motivation for in the first place. And then finally, an unhealthy way to meet the need for contribution is to sort of virtue signal. You know, there's people that like to post when they're like giving money to a homeless person. And, you know, you want to look like you're making a difference. You want to look like you're helping others, but you're not actually making a proper meaningful impact. Like those are the sort of, these are examples. Like there are many different ways to meet these needs using social media. There are positive ways and there are also unhealthy, negative ways, which is what this podcast is about. Okay, so now you know your needs. So like literally take some time, journal, think about it. Like think about how you use social media, what needs it's meeting for you, and really get to the root of that. And then once you know what needs social media is meeting for you, then you can find healthy alternatives, which is the fun part. And I recommend you find healthy alternatives before you move on to the next stage, because there's no point going on a social media detox if you have nothing else to fill your time. You will quickly re-download your apps. So, for example, so for your need for certainty, instead of in the morning reaching for your phone, try and like have a morning routine where you maybe read, 5 pages of a book, or just do, a little meditation. Like whatever it is, try and find something else. Use mindfulness, but you need to kind of find something else that will meet that need for stability and certainty and routine. Uncertainty. So instead of like going on Wild Star and Shade Room, like for some drama, why don't you find like a hobby or listen to a podcast that you don't know? Like that's quite interesting. Like you never know what you might learn. There's some uncertainty there. Go for a walk to a different location, visit somewhere new, go out on adventures, like find something to like meet that need for uncertainty that's different and breaks you out of your routine. If your main need is significance, then try and like maybe develop your self-worth by acknowledging your own strengths and your accomplishments. Do some work on identifying your values. Help people in real life, volunteer for causes and things that really align with your passions and give you a sense of significance. Because like significance, everyone, we all have this need. Some people have it more than others, and it's not a bad need to have, but there are unhealthy ways to meet it. So like you can find healthier ways that really make you feel good. Same with love and connection. So instead of like just having really surface level friendships online, why don't you have a phone call? Like literally give them a call, send them a voice note, arrange to meet up with them, have a video chat, like join a club, an organization, a group, like find people that really relate to you in real life. Or just, as I say, not even in real life, like a phone call is not in real life necessarily. If you have a strong need for personal growth, then like maybe again, read a book, go to a workshop, like look on Eventbrite or Meetup and see what sort of events are going on, and read a book or do an online course, do an in-person course. For example, like I started learning grade 3 music theory. Well, I started at grade 1, but I'm on grade 3 now. But I started learning music theory just for no reason in particular. I don't know how, like I just ended up doing that, and it's been one of the best things I've ever done. And I wouldn't have started to learn music theory if I didn't go on my social media detox. It just gave me something to fill my time with. And then finally, like if you have a strong need for, if social media is meeting your need for connection, then why don't you engage in acts of kindness? Like smile at people, like random acts of kindness. Do what you need to do, like volunteer, donate, reach out to friends and family, or volunteer to mentor someone or support someone in their personal or professional development journey. There are so many ways to meet this need out in the real world, and you don't need social media to do that. Okay, so step 4 is create a clear goal. So now you know what needs social media is meeting. You need to come up with clear goals that will benefit you overall. So for example, you have your alternatives, but now be really clear of it. So you have your healthy alternatives when it comes to meeting those needs, but now I really want you to be clear with it. So instead of reaching out to your friends on social media, you're going to now connect with them in real life. Great, but now be specific. So for example, you're going to go out for dinner or a coffee date with 2 friends a month. And like maybe for you that's like not a lot, maybe make it 4 friends, but like be really specific about how many times you're going to do this, who you want to hang out with, and what you're going to do. Because in that way it's like a concrete goal, instead of being like, oh yeah, I'm going to hang out with my friends more now that I deactivated social media, and then you do nothing. It could be like, I'm going to go out with a friend at least once a week. Like whatever it is, make it a goal that you can meet. If you're an extrovert, it may be more. If you're an introvert, then it may be less, but have a clear goal to meet that need. Or like if it's, personal growth, then you might say, I will read a book a month, and then you list out the books that are on your reading list that you're going to read, and you're going to do this by reading for an hour a day during the evening where you would have been scrolling on social media. Like be really specific on the goals that you're going to set for yourself, because it just makes it a lot easier to stay with it. Step 5 is decide on the type of detox that you're going to have. So there are different types of social media detoxes. There's just straight up cold turkey, deactivate all your accounts, like you're off the grid and everything all at once. And that's what I did. However, there are other ways to go about it. So you can have a detox on one social media. So for example, you could say, okay, Instagram, I'm not going on it anymore, but I'll still go on TikTok. Or you can just have heavily restricted or limited type of detox where you put app limits in place. For example, I will only go on social media for 20 minutes a day, or I won't post social media and I'll only use it for messaging my friends. Or you can allocate specific time slots where you'll use social media. So for example, between 7 and 8 p.m, I can use social media. It doesn't mean that you 7 o'clock comes and you pull out your phone and you're literally stuck on it until 8 p.m. But that could just be the time slot where if you do decide to use social media, that's the only time you can use it. Step 6 is decide on a duration. So you can have it as a little as a day. If your social media usage is really bad, then having a 1-day detox might be extreme. But let's be real, if your social media addiction is that bad, then you probably need to really go hardcore on your detox. But it can be 1 week, it could be 21 days, 30 days, it could be 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever it is. Decide on a time frame that's realistic. You can start small, start with 1 week in 1 month, and then the next month start with 2 weeks, and then the next month after that do 3 weeks, and then before you know it, you're doing a full month detox, and then you're doing a 6-week detox and stuff like that. Start with what works for you, but you might be surprised, when you have a social media detox, you might just kind of want to continue. This newfound freedom might just be a blessing in disguise. Step 7 is let people know that you're having a break. So you can drop people a quick message and just let them know, hey, by the way, I'm letting you know that I'm going on a social media detox, so I won't be able to message you here. Here's my phone number so you can text message me or message me on WhatsApp and we can arrange a catch up in person. Or I'd love to speak to you on the phone, let's arrange a call next week, or let's have a video call, or whatever it is. But it just gives people, so you're just not ghosting people mid-conversation, you're actually giving them a courtesy that you're going to be leaving. Don't do what I did, because I accidentally did that. I accidentally just ghosted people. Not many people, because most people knew that I'd go on regular social media detoxes. But yeah, I'm sure, maybe not, maybe I haven't, but I feel like I've probably accidentally ghosted people, and that just sits on my heart. I never want to be that sort of person. But that's old Teresa. New Teresa doesn't do that. New Teresa, do what New Teresa does, as she's recommending you to drop people a message and communicate your feelings and be clear and transparent. Okay, just listen to this one piece of advice. And then also, another thing I'd say is about when it comes to communication, some people might not be happy with that. They might not be happy with your choice. And honestly, that's none of your business. If someone's not happy with your choice, oh well. Communicate, manage expectations, set boundaries with them, say that, this is what I'm doing. And remember, at the end of the day, this is for your mental health and well-being, your productivity. This is your life. and you have a reason for going on a social media detox, which we established at step 1. You know your why. So like, remember that when people try and convince you not to go, like, you know why you're doing it, and other people may not agree. That is none of your concern. Your concern is with your well-being and what you need to do to get to live the life that you want to live. And then, like, I would say step 8 is basically review and reflect on how it made you feel. So like, depends on how long you're going on a social media detox, but I would suggest you just log a journal like every day. Just write down like how it feels, like what you've used to fill your time, like any hobbies, any interesting things you've learned about yourself. Just really just use it as a time to reconnect with your mind and your body and who you really are. Like, it's a blessing to go on a social media detox. You'll feel so much lighter, you'll feel so much freer, and it's just, you'll be like, the one thing about going on a social media detox for me was realizing how quickly my anxiety just melted away. Like, I didn't realize how I had like a baseline buzz of anxiety every single day. And then when I deleted social media, it just went quiet. It was just silent. It was so nice. It was like the buzzing just went away and I could finally hear myself. It was just beautiful. And you just don't really realize how you're constantly bombarded with information every day. I remember seeing this quote, I think it was like from this, it was like there's this book, I can't remember, I'll see if I can find it. And it was basically talking about how this generation, like the people today, we consume more information in a single day than people 100 years ago consumed in their whole lifetime. We are constantly bombarded with information. And when you go on a social media detox and you have healthy alternatives, make it capital letters, bold it, underline it, make it italicized, healthy alternatives. Remember this, guys. You'll like see how your connections with others improve, you have better concentration, and you realize you can't avoid yourself forever. So you'll kind of just like, maybe it was just me, but I found myself being a lot more mindful every single day. And that's it, guys. So that's my 8-step process for going on a social media detox without completely losing your mind. I'm not saying cut it off. Like, there are so many different variations you can use. You can put app limits in place, or you can go cold turkey, whatever works for you. But like, when you know your why, you have healthy alternatives, you reflect and review, like, you'll be able to go on a social media detox and come out the other side a better version of yourself. And that's all I want for you. That is literally it. And I've seen the benefits in my own life, so I know you will benefit too. If you want to follow me, remember I've actually written a whole blog post on how to reduce your screen time, and it touches on social media detox. It's on my blog, thevaluedlife.co.uk. But if you want to follow me on Instagram, drop me a message, let me know what you think about my content, and that's at The Valued Life, as well as follow this podcast. Join me every week where we just talk about mindfulness, productivity, achieving your goals, perfectionism, all these things, like well-being. Like, I want you to live your best life without burning out all the time. And finally, remember, life is for living.